let's talk about the 2024 Grammys. Hi lovers and femmes, it's me, Ramada the Femme, and welcome to my channel. Today let's talk my unpopular opinions about this year's Grammy Awards. First major headline with Jay-Z accepting his award and then kind of snubbing the Grammys at the Grammy show about how Beyonce hasn't won Album of the Year yet she's the most decorated artist, Grammy winner of all time. Do I agree with what he said? I do, actually. To be honest with you, like, one, that's his wife. Like, we have to forget, like, we can't forget that Beyonce is Jay-Z's wife. So he is gonna stick up for her. And to do it in this moment, I think is the biggest way to, I guess, talk your shit. Because let's say he made this statement in any other interview, on any other show, it probably wouldn't be as impactful as it has been, because look, we're all talking about it. We're all still talking about it. And it brings up the discussion that Album of the Year, has Beyonce ever been snubbed in that category? And I actually Googled all of her Grammy awards and nominations earlier today. And again, she's won 32 Grammys. That's the most out of every other artist in the history of music. So in one way, it's like she's totally celebrated. It's not like the Grammys snub her. It's just that she's never won in that category. Do I think that she has been snubbed in that category before? I do think so. I think twice. I think she should have won for I Am Sasha Fierce. And that's actually the year that Taylor won her first Album of the Year for Fearless. I do think I Am Sasha Fierce was more of a cultural impact than Fearless. And there were more hits, it was more cohesive album. And like, it had Single Ladies, it had Halo. It was such a big album for Beyonce, and I think what it did for culture as well is just, it was huge. So yeah, I do think that she should have won over Taylor in that year. I think she also could have won for Lemonade. And I think that's the one that everyone agrees with. And I think that year Adele won. And the thing is, the Grammys also really love Adele. They do. And that bitch only releases albums like once every 4 or 5 years. So it's always like an anticipation for Adele's albums. And even Adele herself, that was her iconic moment, accepting the Grammys. And then she's like, I can't even accept this because the artist of her life is Beyonce. She was giving Beyonce her flowers when she won Album of the Year. So I think that also says something about Beyonce's cultural impact. Even when it comes to other artists, her peers, like they all give her her flowers. Okay, another big moment was, of course, Taylor Swift winning Album of the Year for the 4th time. Speaking of Album of the Year, she has now won that category more than any other artist. So she made history again, and honestly, good for her. I'm a Swiftie through and through. I'm also a part of the Beehive through and through. I'm also a little monster. I'm a Barb. Like, I am a pop girly through and through, you guys. Like, I love my pop divas. I love to see them all win. But at the same time, I feel, again, music is subjective. These are just my opinions. Do I think that Midnight should have won Album of the Year? As much as Midnight's is a pretty solid album, there are a couple of misses on that track list, to be honest with you. Like, I don't really care for Snow on the Beach. Yeah, I think it's kind of a bad song. And there's a couple other songs on there that I don't really care for or I even listen to. I think that SZA should have won instead of Midnight's. I think SOS had more of an impact over the past year. Her music videos, her music alone, her style, like just the musical composition that SZA has is so unique to her. And the fact that she kind of put R&B back in the forefront with this album, with Kill Bill, with Snooze, like those are huge songs. And I think it made people really listen to R&B again. So that's a major thing for one artist to do. So I definitely think that SZA should have won over Taylor. Again, I'm a Swiftie, but I can also like other artists more in certain ways, you know? Another unpopular opinion of mine is that I don't think that Miley should have won in any of her categories, to be honest. Like, she won 2 Grammys last night, and like, good for her for, you know, it's her first time winning a Grammy, and she's been in the game for a long time now. So good for her for winning for the first time, but do I think that she actually deserved it? I don't think so. I don't think Flowers was that great of a song. It's, to be fair to her, it's probably her best song ever. But in terms of, she won for Best Pop Vocal Performance for Flowers. And that beat Billy, and that also beat Vampire by Olivia. Like, are you kidding? In terms of vocal performance, I can't buy myself flower. Like, it's such a mid-tempo, such an easy, like, sing-along song. It doesn't give me, like, the levels of vocal prowess that Olivia gives, or that Billy gives in What Was I Made For. Those songs are powerful. They're so deeply emotional and meaningful, and their vocal performance packs a punch, where Flowers doesn't give me that. It doesn't have the same levels as those other 2 songs. I feel like Olivia was totally robbed for that category. I also think that Guts might be a better album than Midnight's as well, because I think Midnight's won for Best Pop Vocal Album. I think Olivia should have won that. Olivia ended up not winning any Grammys the other night, so I think she was snubbed. Also, Miley winning Record of the Year for Flowers, that beating SZA's Kill Bill. Like, are you kidding? Kill Bill. And when we talk about Record of the Year, they're talking about the music, the production, just that alone, okay? Not the lyrics, not anything like that, but just the sounds. That's what Record of the Year is. Flowers is too simple. Flowers is just it's just that bass line that carries it through. Whereas, like, and then if you listen to Kill Bill, there's so much in that song. And again, propelled R&B to another level for SZA. I don't see it. I don't see, and Kill Bill was also a huge song. Like, they both went to #1, but I just think the comparison, like, are you kidding? I don't think Flowers should have even been nominated, if I'm gonna be honest. I think they just wanted to give Miley her flowers just because it's just probably her best song. So, I don't know. I'm not part of the Recording Academy. I'm not one of the voters. Also, side note, who are the voters? Who are these judges? Who gets to judge these awards? Like, I'm so curious about who gets to actually, you know, vote to say, like, oh, this person deserves this award. Like, who is the Recording Academy? And I know it's like a bunch of songwriters, artists, and producers. Like, it's a bunch of people in the industry, but it's like, who are these people? Is there, like, I don't think that's public knowledge. But yeah, I want to know specifically who they are. It's always been something I've wondered about. But anyway, I think those are all my opinions for the Grammys. Oh, also, side note, I thought Dua Lipa's performance, her opening, was amazing. I thought her performance skills have really skyrocketed ever since she's, you know, been doing more choreo. I think ever since people have been judging her so hard on her dancing abilities, she's really stepped it up, and I think she's an amazing performer. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this year's Grammys. What did you guys think of the show? What did you guys think of all of the winners? Do you guys agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I know some of that is pretty unpopular, but again, these are just my opinions. It would have gone a completely different way if I got to vote and if it were my award show. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.